Hello, everyone. I am Chris, and I'm back with another trailer reaction. I realize this is incredibly late at night for anyone in the UK. I'm coming at you live 10 past midnight. I do apologize for the lateness. I was trying to get the backgrounds ready and everything for the stream. I thought I could get it done quickly. Apparently not. But here we are, better late than never. And we're here to react to that age-old series again, The Rings of Power Season 2, Amazon's finest. This is the new trailer that's just come out earlier today, as of 4 hours ago, apparently, on Amazon Prime UK's YouTube channel. This is the San Diego Comic-Con trailer, 3 minutes and 39 seconds. So this is a beefy trailer. This is a big one. And oh wow, we've got we've already got people in the comments. This is great. So I'm glad I'm not talking to talking to a camera by myself tonight. Brinsley says, "Hey, I just got back. Good timing. That is exceptional timing. Hope you had a good night." And we've got JX. So late, it's early. Excellent reference. I appreciate it. So yeah, we're going to be reacting to this trailer. I've had to mess around with some of the layouts on here, and I hope you guys can hear the trailer as well when we get to it. I don't even need to give my thoughts on the Rings of Power, do I, at this point? Oh, maybe I do. If anyone new's clicking on this at some point, who knows? The algorithms being what they are. I can't fucking stand it. I think it's an absolute travesty to Tolkien's name and everything in between. It's the Lord of the Rings of Power in name only. It's the Lord of the Rings. It's got none of the thematic material. It's got characters' names. You know, it has a character in the show called Galadriel, and it's not beyond that. She is not the character of Galadriel in any way, shape, or form. And I'm just kind of watching things happen on screen. And it's all terrible. It is all awful. They fucked it. They fucked it in season 1. And we know we're going to get more of the same. But what new stuff are they going to fuck up this time? Well, we've got Tom Bombadil. They're going to fuck him up. We're going to have potentially the Blue Wizards, maybe. Kid and the Shipwright they have now announced and released an image for. He does have the beard, so they didn't fuck that up. But yeah, it's characters, it's writing. Wow, we've got more people joining. This is great. Thank you to everyone who's jumping in. Carl, as always, morning. Yes, good morning. Do you mean to wish me a good morning, or do you mean it is a good morning whether I want it or not? But yeah, hi. I'll just say hi. And the man himself, everything in Middle Earth, Treebeard lost the Entwives, entwined. I will say, me and everything in Middle Earth will be jumping on a live stream tomorrow discussing this trailer. This is just kind of like my solo opinions right now. I haven't seen the trailer yet. We're going to be getting to a first time reaction in just a second. But yeah, we'll get the formalities done first. But yeah, me and everything in Middle Earth can't wait to talk with you about the trailer, my friend. And it might be another therapy session. We'll find out. JX says, "What do you mean, Carl? Never mind." Oh. Let's see. You are going to love the trailer. I'm sure I will. So without further ado, shall we all get to it? 3 minutes 40. There's a lot to talk about. So hopefully now, with the power of layouts, boom, you get my lovely face large on the screen. Oh God, I'm so sorry for you all. And yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to full screen the trailer because it's a small screen for you at home and it's pretty small on that small screen. So I'm going to full screen it for me, so I won't be able to see the comments right now. Let's just try and get these audio levels sorted, which I should have done beforehand. But let's just give it a go. Let's just give it a go. And it's too loud. Well, there's nothing I can do about it. So are you ready? Here we go. Oh, crap. Can I just turn it off now? Uh-huh. Okay. I mean, well, he kind of does need armies. That's why he creates. Yeah, he needs rings, yes, but he also needs armies to do his bidding. Yeah, Galadriel didn't tell anyone that it was Sauron. This is all her fault. Oh, shut the fuck up, Galadriel. Yes. This man. Oh, fuck off. He did the thing. Oh. Bleh, bleh, bleh. Oh, I got Barrow Whites now. They shouldn't be around. Oh, now she tells everyone. That's nice of her. Oh, fuck off. Sharer of gifts. Lord of gifts. If you're going to do it, he's a Lord of gifts. Look at those masks. Oh, I got some more evil witch chicks. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world was turning. Is a power only one has achieved. Oh, Balrog. Yeah, woo. Pimp slap. Good down. You know, I thought it corrupted the dwarves by making them greedy, but apparently it just gives you fucking backhand power. Oh, so that is the blind chick underwater. That's Tom Bombadil. Okay, that's not really singing, is he? Walk away. Cool guys don't look at explosions. 3 arrows. That's gonna be like a Boromir thing. Oh God, yeah, no, God, the Entwives. I guess we did find them, but they haven't gone missing yet. Okay, they haven't gone missing. I'll give them that. Freedom. Tree's gonna fuck some shit up. Okay, cool. Oh, we're gonna get. Do you think we're gonna get ring rates this season? Then are they gonna fuck the 9 ring rates up? Do you reckon they'll make it so those witch women that we see in the Far East are they going to be the witch? Are they going to be the ring rates, the 9? Fuck me. Okay, let me let me close out of this real quick. JX, why are you calling me? Stop calling me, JX. I'm on a fucking live stream. Oh, oh wow, no sound. Okay, that's fine, but you can see the screen, right? Let me fuck around with some stuff. Let me remove that real quick. Um, okay, so if I stop the screen and then redo the screen, let's see. It's because last time I did the whole right. This should work this time. There we go. So if I close that down. There we go. I'm an old man with technology right now. Okay, when I bring it back, we should have audio. So I apologize for that. We had no sound for it, but we could see it. Okay, that's fine. I mean, if it's like a copyright thing, it circumnavigates that, right? But they were saying some really cringeworthy shit. So we're going to go through the trailer again anyway. So we will be watching it again, and we will have sound this time. I promise, guys. Oh, God, how do you even begin to discuss something like this where everything's wrong and it's awful, it's terrible? Everything we've seen from the trailers so far, they're just going to be doubling down on all of the stuff from season 1, and there's so much bad shit in this. I mean, they're messing around with the timelines like they did in the first series, and I know that Peter Jackson did that with his movies, but I don't feel like he did to this degree. The fact that the Balrog is in action, what are we doing? The fact that we've got Barrow Whites in the series before we've even got the fucking 9 ring rates. They're talking about he wants the 9 rings. So I guess we're setting that up. I don't know if they're going to be corrupted into the ring wraiths in this series, because that seems really quick. And apparently they've got 5 seasons of this shit. So they might want to pace it out when the whole conceit and concept of their show are the rings of power. I don't really feel like there's an exhaustive amount of mileage you can get out of that, but try and pace it out a little bit more. Do we think we're getting the 9 ring wraiths in this series then? Do we yeah, this is what I mean, because we've got Barrow-wights, but that's not meant to happen until, you know, like the kingdoms of, what is it, like Arthurdane and, you know, all of that shit. Like, we need to wait until that happens. And for that, we need the 9 people to be corrupted, which I don't know if that was a fast process. I don't know if that was a slow process. We don't really get a whole lot on the actual 9 in the book and the lore. We don't even really know their names apart from Kamul and I guess, you know, the Witch King, and that's not even his official name. So I know in various video games, JX is probably typing right now. I know that in, like, was it Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, they give them names. I know that Warhammer, I know that they've given them names as well. But we need to get to that first, and then the Witch King needs to rise up, and then we need the Kingdom of Men to rise up, and the whole... we can't do this. Like, what are we doing? But here we are. We're doing it because it feels like, right, whatever we've got the rights to, let's just throw some shit out there. Case in point, Tom Bombadil. I know he's oldest and fatherless. I get that, but why is he here? Why do we need him? It just feels, again, like we've got the rights to this character. Let's just throw him in and fuck all the context around it. From what I've seen from pictures of Tom Bombadil, he just looks really drab and dreary in this series, and we get a couple of lines from him here, which I will play it with audio in just a second. And yeah, he just seems really lifeless and boring. The only thing I'm kind of curious about is if there is enough footage to work with Tom Bombadil, if someone could maybe do some kind of fan edit of the original Lord of the Rings films and somehow get Tom Bombadil in there, even if it's like a quick little montage. Like, that could be cool. But yeah, right. Let me read some of you guys' comments. I do really apologize for that no audio thing. I think the reason that I clicked the sound off was because last time I did something like this was when me and JX did a watch along of Sargon on Ringen, and we had the audio on, and it got flagged because the audio was streaming. So the audio wasn't streaming through like the background of my microphone. It was actually playing outright the audio of the video as if you were actually watching the video at home. And that kind of fucked us. So I turned that off thinking that you would still hear it through my computer, through my microphone. Apparently that's not the case, so I do apologize for that. But I've toggled it back on now, so hopefully we should be good when I do a second rewatch in just a second. So you will still get the audio reaction experience, because we're going to be like pausing this and going frame by frame. Gabriel says Tolkien's rolling in the dough and in their graves. Well, J.R.R. Tolkien isn't rolling in the dough, but he is rolling in his graves for sure. I think whoever is it, his grandson, who's sort of like head of the estate now. I get the impression that he just oh, sorry, I wanted the background. There we go. That's a bit more visual for you guys. I get the impression that he really just doesn't care about his grandfather's legacy, and he's looking to make a quick buck. And, you know, Christopher Tolkien, Christopher Tolkien would be enraged. I was going to say Christopher Tolkien was a great custodian of his father's legacy, and was worthy of his father's name, in that he managed to compile all of these notes and get across to us stories that otherwise we would have never seen. Probably we would never have seen the Silmarillion in some kind of published form, and all the other writings that he's done, and the great tales and everything, and the history of Middle Earth. The amount of stuff that Christopher Tolkien provided for us is insurmountable. And now it seems like people are riding the coattails off greater men. You know, it's such a shame. It really is. What was it? Saruman says to Theoden, "You are a lesser son of greater sires," or whatever he says. That's how it feels to me. Brinsley says Dune 3 looks great. Definitely more action. Have they released something of Dune 3, or are you making a joke that this looks like Dune? I mean, they do go to the deserts. Are we going to get sandworms? Are they going to throw those in as well? Carl says, after the backlash season 1 received, are you surprised they're making a season 2? Well, I think contractually, I think they'd already started filming, hadn't they? I think they had to put it on hold because of COVID, maybe. And then I know that New Zealand was going fucking nuts with COVID and lockdown and not letting anyone in, not letting anyone out, or whatever they were doing. I know that New Zealand were one of like the most OTT countries that did that. And as a result, I know they had to move filming to the UK. So this one's going to be shot entirely in the UK, which I have expressed is, it feels weird because New Zealand has been Middle Earth for all of these years. That's not to say that the UK doesn't have some wonderful landscapes which could easily match New Zealand. Well, it doesn't. Well, in some respects they can. But what I'm saying is I think that you could still film stuff in the UK and have it look Middle Earthian. So I don't think it has to be exclusively New Zealand, but I think it's just because that's what we've known in terms of Lord of the Rings, live action, big budget projects. That's kind of what we come to expect. So it is going to be different, but I am interested to see what the UK has to offer and the locations that they've chose to film it. Carl says Shadow of Mordor is an amazing game. I played a little bit of it. I didn't play an exhaustive amount. I do need to actually like watch some Let's Plays of it to get the actual full scope of the story. Brizzy says he was making a joke about the desert part. Yeah, what were those masks they were wearing? You know what? Let's get to the trailer again, guys. Let's get to the trailer. We'll do it properly this time with sound. So before I click play, tell me if you guys can hear it. That's probably what we should have done first. And I'll know now for the future. So yeah, let me just click this real quick, and we're going to play it. And let me know if you
Sauron sees himself as master of all Middle Earth.
Okay, can we all hear it? Can we all hear it at home? Do you want me to play a little bit more? I'm just waiting. There might be a bit of a delay with the chat. I'm just waiting for the go ahead. Sounds good. Excellent. Okay, here we go. Cranking it back to the beginning. Let's do this. I'm going to periodically stop it so we can talk about it as we go through.
Sauron sees himself as master of all Middle Earth.
That is our Sauron, master of Middle Earth. Now, I know that Sauron is the master of disguises. Again, well, in the book he is. In the show, not so much. I mean, this has been joked about to death, but the fact that he keeps the same face but changes his wig, pops some contact lenses in, and he's like, oh, no one knows who I am now. This is the perfect opportunity, especially in a TV show, where you could realistically have Sauron played by multiple different people, because he's a shapeshifter. He's there we go, Brinsley, exactly. He's the master of wigs, 100%. Yes, he is. It's just ridiculous. And he's still showing up in public. You know, he went into hiding. He kind of went skulking away to Mordor, didn't he? The Mordor that's very conveniently labeled for us in the corner of the screen in case we didn't know it was the Southlands. It's changed to Mordor now, folks. And he just looks like some dude, like, Galadriel saying he is he's the master of evil. He sees himself as the Lord of Middle Earth, or whatever she's saying. And then it just cuts to that profile, and he's just like, like, what are we doing? This is fucking hell. This is Sauron. This is our Sauron, everyone. Look at him. Look at him go.
He seeks to rule it.
Okay, what do we think to that helmet, just as a prop? I mean, it's spiky. That's what we come to expect from Sauron. We do see Sauron in the prologue of season 1, didn't we? Which was one of the only cool shots I seem to remember from that whole show. He had a spear, and there was like an army of orcs that were like bowing before him or something, and he essentially looked like Peter Jackson's version. And that's what confuses me with this, because it's its own thing, right? It's like, don't get this misconstrued. This is not a prequel to the Lord of the Rings films. This is a separate universe in Amazon's little realm of destroying great legacies from wonderful men. No, but you have iconography and lines lifted directly from Peter Jackson's movies. The one that always comes to mind is the one at the very end of season 1, where not Gandalf, we can't call him Gandalf for legal reasons, but he is Gandalf. He very much is. And, he says, like, when in doubt, always follow your nose. That's a direct line from the fucking movies. And it's, you know, it's said in exactly the same way as well. And that's just one line that I remember. There was a whole bunch of lines and moments and iconography and member berries. There's another one in this, I am no man, like, or he is no man, or whatever she says. It's so infuriating. It's like, what are you doing? You're meant to be your own thing. Stop using all of this shit. And then you even have the Balrog that made a little cameo teaser appearance, like Darth Plagueis in Star Wars The Acolyte, just shows up looking menacing for one creepy little shot to make the fanboys cream themselves. And then that's it. And then we get no follow-up to it. But the Balrog design is exactly the same as Peter Jackson's. So it gives the sense of, oh, this is fitting in the movie continuity because we've got these similar looking creatures and similar looking things, but it fundamentally isn't. So it's like, what are you doing? You've got to try and be your own thing, but not so much of your own thing to the point where you completely bastardize the lore, which is, of course, what they're doing. It's a cool looking helmet. It's fine. Kind of looks, I don't know, what's that? It looks like something Jigsaw would create, doesn't it, really? Rizzy says, would have been great if they recast, but I get them wanting to bring the actor back, but yeah, could have done better. Yeah, I mean, if he's meant to be in disguise and hiding in plain sight, you got to do something. You got to do something. I'm not saying you can't have Sauron looking like Halbrand again, but when he's hanging out with the elves and he's not on his own, he's got to be different. He's got to look different. He's got to look in total fair form. And even in fair form, which is essentially I'm going to throw a wig on, he still looks menacing as shit. Like, he doesn't look like fair and angelic and wonderful and like butter wouldn't melt. It still looks terrifying. Well, actually, no, he doesn't look terrifying. He just looks menacing. He looks like he's bad news. Here we go.
Not only through conquest, but by bending the minds of all its peoples to his.
So that's our new actor for oh god, what was his called? Adar, I think. Yeah, it was the Elvish for father, wasn't it? And he's going to lead the misunderstood orcs to find them a home. He's like their Moses. He's going to take them to the promised land and be the champion of them. Did we say what he was? Is he like he's like a partially corrupted elf? He's like halfway between being an elf and an orc. Is that what he is? He's kind of like pasty. He's got some like crusty skin action going on. And he looks a little bit orcish, but is he like midway through transformation? Is that how it works? I thought basically how the elves came about were, and it's kind of hinted at, you know, in the movies it says they were elves once taken by the dark powers, tortured and mutilated, a horrid and ruined form of life, something like that. I get the impression in the books, because this spans over, you know, millennia and fucking generations, that the orcs were tortured and probably, I mean, Tolkien doesn't go into it and we don't really get into this, but probably like raped and stuff like that. Like it's kind of like murky to the point where over generations orcs have kind of become a subspecies of elf. They're, you know, it's so many thousands of years that these creatures have kind of evolved down, you know, through the gene pool, essentially, to the point where they're a completely unrecognizable different subset of elf. That's how I always interpreted it anyway. So how is this guy sort of halfway in between? He's like the missing link. Is that what we're doing? Brinsley says they are directly copying the style of the Peter Jackson movies. Would have been interesting if they had their own style. I'm looking forward to the animated War of the Rohirrim movie. I am, but the more that I see of that, I think it's going to be a complete bait and switch. It is not going to be a Helm Hammerhand movie. It's going to be about his daughter. All the marketing is her in shots. It's her in main profile. I think it's going to be a complete bait and switch. I really do. And I think they're going to go the way of like Rey in Star Wars and Galadriel, and they're going to make her like this super amazing badass warrior woman, which again just chips away at Eowyn's uniqueness and what she brings to the table and why her character is so different and memorable. And it's just going to be, hey, you know, this is a bit of a sausage fest. We need to get some strong women in there. There's his daughter, who's mentioned once in the book. Let's beef up her involvement in the story and make her this amazing warrior woman, and let's have her be the focus of the story. I really hope I'm wrong about that, and I hope it's just like a marketing thing they're trying to do in order to appeal to all demographics at the moment. But I've got a sneaky suspicion it's going to be a bait and switch. And if that's the case, that film can go fuck itself. But we will see. We will see. We've got to wait until December, right? So we haven't got that long to wait. And I will have a review on it, of course, when it comes out. Rinsley says that Adar is like a proto-orc. Yeah, I think. I don't know how they explained it. Yeah, I can't really remember. I should probably go back and watch season 1 before this one, but I really don't want to. I know Everything in Middle-earth has mentioned about doing that. I don't know if that's still on the cards, but I probably should to get caught up, but I can't even remember characters' names. It just had so little impact on me. Let's keep moving because we've got a lot to do. We've got Rings Fallen.
And for that, he needs not armies,
No!
but rings.
Okay, what do we think about that line? So, for Sauron to conquer the world and be its lord, he needs not armies, but rings. I mean, she's partly correct, but I feel like he needs both, which is why Sauron spends so much of his time amassing armies. Armies upon armies. You know, he did it, his master did it in the pits of Angband. They'd create masses of armies to launch assaults. Like they need to assault Middle-earth with military force. The rings really just kind of give him leniency to controlling the lords of their given races. Men he corrupts, but it doesn't mean that all men are corrupted. You have King Theoden. Denethor kind of falls to grief and possible Sauron direct influence with the Palantir. But it's not like by him getting the 9 kings of men that all men suddenly fall. That's not the case. It's just those particular provinces, those particular kings, which again, we don't really know much about. And he just uses them as his lackeys, as his servants to go out and do his bidding alongside his armies. Often the ring wraiths will be leading armies into battle. The rings of the dwarfs, it just corrupts them through means of amplifying or the traits that they already possess. So they become more greedy, they become more covetous, they delve too greedily and too deep, which incurs the wrath of certain things like Balrogs, like dragons, and that's how their undoing is essentially through their own means of greed. The Elven Rings were not created by Sauron. They were created separately. So Sauron really doesn't have any leniency over the Elven Rings, I'm under the impression of. However, if he does get them, they're still magically buffed rings, so it would still have an impact on his power level and control, I would expect. But he just can't directly control the elves through those rings in the current state. I believe that's how it is. If I'm wrong and someone knows more about the lore, do let me know. But I was under the impression that he can control the 9 rings of men. He can have influence over the dwarven rings. However, the elven rings, if he attains them, will still be a power boost, but he can't directly have involvement with them because the elves made those in secret. I think that's right. But he needs armies. He needs both. So, I mean, it's a cool line for the trailer, right? But it's not necessarily true. Were they trying to do a thing there where it, you know, he's like, no, don't put the ring on Galadriel, and like we're trying to think that by her putting this ring on, it's going to make her evil or it's going to make her invisible. We're kind of teasing that slow reveal there, and it's didn't they wear the rings at the end of season 1? I might be mistaken. I know they make them, but did we see them actually wear them? I mean, if that's the case, I don't know why there's a big dramatic, oh, we're putting the ring, oh, what's going to happen? Like, they know what happens, don't they? Or maybe they didn't put them on, I can't remember. Let's continue.
In choosing to wear those rings,
I think that was that Círdan the shipwright right there? I believe, yeah, I think that is, yeah, I think that's Círdan the shipwright getting his ring of power, which he would have, so that's fine.
Choosing to wear
a picture of him. Yeah, there we go.
Those rings. You have.
I'm sorry, but the fact that that's Gil-galad just kills me. Hi, King Gil-galad.
In choosing to wear those rings,
so yeah,
you
there
have
we
all
go.
become his collaborators.
So yeah, by choosing to by choosing to wear those rings, you have all become his collaborators. Well, not really. as I've said, like, I think they remain autonomous, don't they, from Sauron's direct control? If someone could maybe correct me on that, that's the impression I get. And this, the fucking hell, look at his haircut. I'm still not over this shit for Elrond. Like, why? What possessed them to do this? It's so bad. Okay, anyway, let's just carry on. Let's just carry on.
I know you believe.
Oh no, we've got Galadriel riding a horse again. Does that mean that she's going to have, like, you know, that face that she had when she rode that horse in season 1, where she's like, is it going to be that again? Are we going to get a slow-mo close-up of Galadriel face riding a horse? Christ almighty.
I know you believe this ring is deceiving me.
Oh, where were they riding to there? So we've got Galadriel and Elrond riding to this place. Where do we think this is? Has this already been established? It's kind of a forest realm. Is this where Gil-galad's hanging out? Or is this a new place? You can kind of see, like, the white turrets in the background. Kind of like elven architecture, perhaps. Yeah, not sure.
Ring is deceiving me. But I believe.
Potential? Well, I was going to say, is that New Zealand? But no,
But
it's
I
UK
believe
Mountain somewhere with the
it
aid
is
of
guiding
CGI.
me.
So we've got Galadriel and Elrond bombing off on some kind of, like, badass quest
This
together. By
ring
the
is
looks of it.
deceiving me. But I believe it is guiding me.
Where is it guiding you, Galadriel?
All this may be by his design.
These rings may be how he attains power.
They
Okay, so that's the is that kid? Is that kid?
These rings.
Yeah, that's an older hand there, I think. So is it Kid? Yeah, because Círdan loves his water, doesn't he? He is the shipwright after all. So is this him? And he's like, he can talk to the fishes now or something? Is he
These
like
rings
Aquaman with his
may be
power
how
of
he
ring?
attains power.
They must be destroyed.
We will discuss the rings once you have answered the question. Who is this man?
Oh, we'll get onto that line in a minute. Christ almighty. So yeah, Celebrimbor is imprisoning Sauron. We saw that scene in the previous trailer where Sauron kind of bursts onto the scene, doesn't he? Or in almost like a flaming eye, and it just looks like, well, I don't know. It looks like he's either going to question him or keep him around to learn more about. Well, of course he is, isn't he? Because Sauron's going to need some rings creating. So I guess he's going to smooth talk his way to Celebrimbor to start making some more rings. I don't know what he's going to promise Celebrimbor, but yeah, it doesn't appear that Halbrand's coming across, or sorry, Sauron is coming across as very friendly here. But maybe he just makes Celebrimbor an offer he can't refuse, I guess. Season 2 ends with an evil green glowing Galadriel tease and Linkin Park song playing the credits. You say, I genuinely think they are going to do that. In place of a Dark Lord, you will have a queen, like how we see her in The Hobbit, which I was never a fan of. I thought it was really over the top and kind of, especially in over the top in both, but especially in the Hobbit films, I found it was really cringy when she drove Sauron out of Dol Guldur. But I think you're right. I think we are going to see that this season. I've got a sneaky suspicion we might.
Who is this man?
Who is this man? And look how he charges up on that M. Man.
Who is this?
Look at that. I'm just going to leave that on screen for a second. Who is this man? And you got to capitalize that man. It's like that is it South Park song? Now you're a man, man. And of course he enunciates it that way. He puts all that emphasis into that word man because of course we need this line next, don't we? Listen up, guys, because you didn't have audio last time. Do you remember this line?
Man.
He is no man.
Thank you, Galadriel. Thank you so much. Oh god, the subtitles are still there on screen. I can still see it, even though I'm looking at the screen. I can still see it, and it's terrible. It's awful. He is no man. And we're still doing this shit. We're still doing this Peter Jackson shit. Do you remember it? Do you remember when Éowyn said it? And it was like a great heroic moment for her as a character and her place, her standing in society. and the culture of Middle Earth. And she stands up to the fucking Witch King and says that because it makes sense, because it ties in with the prophecy of the Witch King. And now she's like, he is no man. Well, he's a Maiar, but I think Maiar can still have genders, can't they? So did Galadriel just misgender or assume to gender Sauron? He is a shapeshifter after all, and he can, he moves. Christ Almighty, he moves into, what is it? Werewolves, vampires, elven dude. But I think he's still a dude. I think he still identifies as a. She means like a man, like as in the race. That's why it's capitalized, perhaps. But the reason that line is in there is because it was in Return of the King. Because it's shit that we know. It's shit that we've heard before. And it's the way that they tee that up is so fucking cringy. And again, it's like, be your own thing. Be good. Be well written. Be well acted. That'd be nice too. Let's put those to the top of the list. But be your own thing. Stop doing this shit. It's like Disney Star Wars. They keep crowbarring shit in. And it's like, stop it. Stop doing this. Again, be well written. Be well acted. But stop, please. Stop doing that member shit because it's really irritating. This is where they're fighting the Barrow Whites. Yeah, there we go. Wow, that's something, I guess. So I think these are definitely Barrow Whites. I don't know if they've actually confirmed it that they are, but we've got the fog. We've got a whole bunch of them. They've got the glowing eyes, which I think is what Tolkien described them as. And I think in other pictures, in the behind the scenes that I did in my previous reaction video to the other trailer, you see that they're wearing chains and like a lot of jewelry, and I think that's what the Barrow Whites wore because they kind of emulated the kings and the people that were buried there that were adorned with all this finery. So we've got Barrow Whites in it now, and it's just of course we've got Barrow Whites in it because we've got the rights to this part of the book or this excerpt of the book, so throw them in without any regard for the law. I genuinely believe the people that have, the showrunners of this or the writers have never even read Tolkien a fucking day in their life. Probably did like a quick deep dive on like the Tolkien Wikipedia, and that's it, because they shouldn't be around. As I've said, the Barrow Whites don't show up for many, many years after where this is set. And there's so much stuff that has to transpire first, which even leads to this. The kingdom of men and the 9 kings of men and being corrupted and turning into the ring wraiths and the Witch King leading his armies, and then the 3 kingdoms. Was it Arnor? God, I'm trying to remember the names, guys. I'm sorry. I know there's Arthur Dane. Oh God, I forgot the names of them now. It's very late. I do apologize, but it's, they formed that kingdom, didn't they? And then the Witch King went in and basically sacked the kingdom. And he sent these dark spirits, these whites, these Barrow Whites, into the land to deter anyone from trying to take back that kingdom. And that's where Frodo and the hobbits run into them in the book before Tom Bombadil comes in and saves them. They look a bit weird and CGI in that shot, but in the behind the scenes, that like they look like Barrow Whites. Brinsley says, I don't hate the design. I just hate the fact that they're even here. It's just more disregard for the law. It's like, just throw anything in. Just throw all this shit in because we've got the rights to it. Carry on.
He deceived me. He's Sauron.
What do I call you?
It's just me. Let's see. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. He looks a bit boss-eyed. Like it's just he's had like Botox, and he doesn't look as rugged anymore. He's like smoothed his face out. It's like he's done this with his face, had a bit of a facelift. And he's wearing contacts, and he's got this pretty boy hair going on. Does he plait it at the back? Has he got like little ribbons and little bows in the back there? Ridiculous. Throw a wig on, and there you go. in the face, like with his eyes, because he's kind of got like these soulless black eyes. Like he doesn't look particularly angelic or anything. He just looks really derpy and awkward. He kind of looks like a Team America puppet in the face to me a little bit there. He looks like really waxy and just kind of dead behind the eyes. This is not the Anatar Lord of Gifts. This is kind of what is said in the book, and it's not about Sauron, but I think you can refer to it. I think the enemy would appear fairer and feel fouler, and he's just JX says had to step away. Well, you're back, and we're looking at Halbrand Sauron as Anatar, the Lord of Gifts. Except, sorry, no, he's not the Lord of Gifts, is he? What is he? Please tell me, Sauron. What do you like to refer to yourself as?
A sharer of gifts.
A sharer of gifts. There you go. Oh, it's nice to know that Sauron was brought up with the ability to share. That's very nice. Do we get to see him as the Cat Prince? That'd be really cool. I'd see him as, yeah, what was it? It eventually became that that Queen of Cats. Oh god, what was her name? Oh yeah, but like the ideas changed over time, didn't it? But yeah, Sauron was eventually meant to be a cat, which is kind of cool, I suppose. Yes, JX says Sauron's a communist. Yes, he is. He is. Share. Sharing is caring. Let's continue. Guys, I just can't get over the fucking look of him here. It's just so bad. It's so bad. Do you remember actually in the deleted scene of Return of the King where the ending that we got was Aragorn facing down against that Olog-hai, that troll that shows up? We all know that was originally meant to be Sauron, and they actually filmed it where he was in the armor. But originally, when he appears to Aragorn across the battlefield, he was in angelic form, and I believe they've released a picture of that, and that's in the footage. That is what I think Anatar, Lord of Gifts, was meant to look like. They described that as his fair form, and that's what he would look like. And he did look very godlike, angelic, Archangel Gabriel kind of vibes. But there would have been a sinister edge to it, and I think that's what is said in the Silmarillion, or what like Unfinished Tales or something, where a lot of the elves were kind of hanging on his every word. But Galadriel could sense, although he appeared angelic and beatific and everything like that, there was an underlying sinister edge to him, which only really Galadriel could see. I'm paraphrasing. I swear that's in the book. I swear I'm not making that up. I do want to go back and reread the Silmarillion because I'm long overdue for a reread. So I will do. And I'll try and get it reread before the show if I can. My time is very limited, so I'll do my very best because I would like to be a bit more clued up before going into the series. JX says, he looks like he has a mouthful of pasta. And that's not an insult, that's a comment. I don't understand. Yeah, he does. It's like Gary and Spotswood. Now suck my cock. Anyway, let's carry on.
Our work begins now.
Okay. There's some nice cinematography going on in this shot. Kind of looks like it's from Shogun or something, just if I was to look at that. Kind of looks like feudal Japan kind of vibes just from that shot, I would say. Carry on.
I have walked across.
Is that a Tatooine shot? We seem to be made to suffer. It's our lot in life. Yeah, JX says, is that Jakku? Yeah, this is your R2D2 and 3PO shot walking through the deserts of Tatooine. And who are these motherfuckers? These are your Sam people. Brinsley says, I might pick up the new Andy Serkis Silmarillion audiobook. I've heard that's very good. I actually haven't listened to his version just yet, but yeah, I have heard it's very good. I'd be interested to hear the voices he does for all the different characters. Yeah, he's pretty much done all of the big three now, hasn't he? The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and the Silmarillion. I don't think he can do the Children of Húrin because that was read by Christopher Lee in the audiobook, and let's be fair, you ain't getting any better than that. So I think they should leave that one. I think it'd be weird to hear him do stuff like Unfinished Tales. He could maybe do Unfinished Tales, but in Unfinished Tales, you have a lot of the interjections of Christopher Tolkien sort of describing the evolution of the various works, and I don't know if that would really work in audiobook form for Andy Serkis to do. So I think he's served his time pretty well with the audiobooks, doing all those three. Okay, so we've got these Death Eaters or what are so the mask is whatever. There we go. Kind of giving me Death Eater vibes from like circa Goblet of Fire. But then when it cuts to the wide shot and we see the other ones,
Deserts.
that shit looks ridiculous to me. Like, what the actual fuck are they? Now, I know we're in the East. That's no excuse. And it would be cool to see. I've actually said, like, the fact that they are going to the deserts of Rune. I don't know if they're going to Harad as well, or if they're probably just going to Rune. I've always wanted to see that in Middle-earth. It's always been an area of the map I've always been fascinated by and really want to know more. And we get like little bits and pieces that we hear, but not like an extensive amount in the lore. And I want to go to those uncharted parts of the map. And this is how you do it. When everyone, I was saying they're trying to cram diversity in there and changing races and all of this just because we've got to appeal to this demographic and tick this box and everything. I've always said, like, you can absolutely have a show that is multicultural, but just have the ethnicities and the cultures making sense to the world that you're adapting. And this is how you do it. Showing us Rune, showing us Harad. And I will champion that. And I've always wanted to see that. This ain't what I had in mind, though. Look at this. What have we got going on here? These look terrible. And all I'm thinking of right now, and this is just because me and JX watched, I think we watched this clip, didn't we, not too long ago, where it's the KKK scene from Django Unchained, where they're wearing the masks. Like, do we have to wear it while we're riding? I can't see fucking shit out of this thing. From now on, don't ask me or mine for nothing. I'm getting that vibes. These masks look ridiculous. They do look very Star Warsian, actually. Or actually, JX says they look like they're from Morrowind. I actually haven't played much Morrowind, so and you are the Elder Scrolls aficionado when it comes to that lore. So I take your word for that wholeheartedly. Some kind of cult, some kind of wizardy cult. Are we going to see the Blue Wizards? I don't know if they've confirmed that this season, but it seems like if they've got the rights to it, they'll throw those in too. We're already getting Tom Bombadil and the Barrow White, so let's throw the Blue Wizards in there as well. Yeah, interesting choice. So he's using the Force.
Friend find his destiny.
Oh, let's see in the background there. So we've got some people walking.
My friend find his destiny.
Now, is that a Hobbit person in the background, or is that someone from Rune? What are we thinking? I'm trying to tell how tall they are, but they still kind of look small, but I don't know if the Hobbit level's small.
My friend find his destiny.
And this is what I can't remember. So you know how it was? She was like basically female Frodo, and you had female Sam, who was the larger lady that hung out with her. Did she go with Gandalf and female Frodo at the end, or was it just Gandalf and female Frodo? I've got a feeling it was the latter, but I can't remember. So I'm wondering if that's her in the background, but it looks like there's a couple of people right there in the background. I think this is probably around that time in the previous trailer where you see Gandalf using his magic and it like blows up a gust of wind and female Frodo, and it looked like someone else, probably the person in the background, is like hanging on to a rope as they're like flailing through the air. It's probably around this scene. To help her friend find his destiny. Well, yeah, what is his destiny? He crash landed into Middle-earth via comet, apparently, because, that's how Tolkien wrote the introduction of the Astari. They arrived via comet, like arrival to Earth from fucking Transformers 1. And what is his destiny? Why are they going into... Were they investigating those witch lady people who kind of transformed into ring wraiths right before they died, but they can't be ring wraiths because they're not part of the 9, or are they? This is what I mean. At the very end, we hear that they're trying to like set up the 9, And we see a group of them, probably some kind of magic cult, but when they died, they did become ring wraiths in the previous season. So I'm really worried they're going to say, oh, you know, the 9 kings of men are now the 9 kingdoms, the 9 kings and queens. Yes, queen. And we're going to get a mix. I feel like that's probably something Amazon might do. Because, you know, 9 kings of men is a bit too much of a sausage fest now. So none on my watch. I think we need to diversify it up a little bit. I think we need to get some chicks in there. So that's probably what we're going to get. Maybe. I could be wrong. We will see.
Won the fate of the world.
These ladies, what are the fate of the world may depend on. So we got Mothra, apparently. Oh, God, I'm trying to count them now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5. There were 3 in the previous series. So that's 8. Is one of 9. Are we going to get a 9th one too? Oh, fuck. These actually might be the ring wraiths. Oh, no.
May depend on.
Is that staff anything of worth? I mean, she's got a staff. I think one of the other ones in the previous series had a staff, didn't she? Are these... Is this one of the blue wizards? Are we going to get a chick wizard who's like leading a cult? I don't know, guys. I'm looking at this right here and I'm getting flashbacks to Star Wars, the Acolyte, the lesbian space witches. I'm getting flashbacks. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Is one of them going to do a speech and then one of them just goes like in the background? Oh, God, it's going to happen, isn't it? It's all connected. They're all the same. Everything's the same now.
Is it my task to stop the fire?
That's Tom Bombadil, isn't it? That's Tom Bombadil's voice right there.
Is it my task to stop the fire? Is it my task to face Sauron?
I mean, kinda. Yeah, maybe. In the book, the ring has no effect on you. So Tom Bombadil. Okay, now that's a celebrity death match right there. Tom Bombadil versus Sauron. Let's say Sauron doesn't have the ring, but is in physical form. I think Tom Bombadil fucking wipes the floor with him. And Fatty Lumpkin. Tom Bombadil cavalry charging on Fatty Lumpkin against Sauron. What are we saying? I'm betting on Tom Bombadil right there. I think he's got it. I think he'll sing him to death and Sauron will be like, oh, fuck. And then like Sauron will fucking like end his own life or something. But this is Tom Bombadil. Like, doesn't this just look a bit drab and cheerless? And it's like, say what you want about Tom Bombadil. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea. Lord knows it, he wasn't mine. That motherfucker stopped me reading that book about 4 times when I was a young'un trying to get through the book. I have now since found somewhat of an appreciation for Tom Bombadil. I still think his section, I think when you're adapting it, as much as I'd like to see it, if they had like a TV show to adapt the entirety of the Lord of the Rings, that I think to be a bit different from Peter Jackson's, I would like to see those chapters added in, definitely. But if you're just doing a movie, like, I understand why you cut him out. And this, you know, Rory Kinnear playing Tom Bombadil, he's a really good actor. He's a really good actor. And I think he could play the character well, but we know what level of writing we're up against here, and it ain't Tolkien's. Apparently, they are going to use some of Tom Bombadil's lines from the book. I mean, of course they are. I've already talked about the member berries, but why, when that takes place in the Third Age and this is the second, and like, why are we doing Tom Bombadil? For what reason? Let's continue. Okay, this is Ar-Pharazôn. And we've got the Palantir. Now, I don't know why the Palantir is doing all of this crazy shit. I mean, if we are tying it in, I mean, we've got like it looks like he's fucking Doctor Strange opening the mirror dimension. Like, what's going on here?
To try and cheat death.
And that's where I said to try and cheat death is a power only one has achieved. But if we work together, I know we can discover the secret. I'm sorry, guys. I'm in a Star Wars mood. weird tangent, my local Odeon cinemas have announced that they're putting all of the Star Wars films on at the cinema, apart from Solo, a Star Wars story, apparently, because fuck Solo. So they're doing episodes 1, 2, 3, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I've got my tickets booked for 2 and 3. Looking forward to it. And I will be booking 4, 5, and 6 as well. And ending the saga on that wonderful Ewok party, because no other Star Wars movies were made after that point, and we're all good. And so I'm a bit of a Star Wars mood. I'm looking forward to seeing those on the big screen again. Anyway, let's get back to the Rings of Power. Oh fuck, we're only halfway through.
Might
Here we go.
lead
We get the
to
Balrog
catastrophe.
with a fucking Balrog. Is that his sword, or is that a Balrog spear now?
Catastrophe.
That kind of okay. Yeah, you can kind of see the hilt back there. Yeah, so I guess that's a sword. Again, why have we got the Balrog in this? The Balrog shouldn't be around. Oh, there is the. Is that a position? No, you can actually see the Balrog in the fires there. I just noticed
Try and
that.
cheat death.
Yeah, right there. You can see the horns, and hang on, there's a better still. It looks like they've taken the shot from Peter Jackson's, where you know that shot where he's on the bridge and it like rises up and flexes, and that shot's so cool. I absolutely love that shot in Fellowship of the Ring. It kind of looks like they've taken the head from that moment there and just pasted it in. And yeah, the Balrog should not be around at all at this point. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Everything's wrong. Just because the Balrog is around and has fucked up Moria, become the Lord of the Rings, that hasn't happened yet and doesn't happen for... I don't even think it happens to this monarch, does it? It's not this Durin that comes into contact with... Oh my god, let's carry on.
Lead to an even greater
But people like the Balrog, right?
catastrophe.
This is just me as well. Like just the special effects on the Balrog look way worse 20 plus years on.
Might lead
Like
to an
it's just
even
I don't know, it's just me. Like it looks fine, but doesn't look quite as good. Maybe it's just how it's blended into the scene.
Father, take off the ring.
That pimp slap though. Respect that pimp slap. Boom! Like he goes, that's like some wirework shit right there. Like he doesn't just fall back, he flies back. So this is what I said. Like the dwarven rings don't just amplify your greed. Apparently, it also amplifies your fucking strength to backhand a bitch. So yeah, like if I was gonna draw any positives, slight vague positives from series 1, it would probably be the dwarven stuff. I thought they had the best acting. The most intrigue with that like father-son dynamic of the monarch and of the two Durins. And there's going to be some kind of power struggle this season. He's going to be just saying like, we need to delve deeper, we need to keep digging, and he's going to be like, no, because we've got all of these cave-ins happening and bad shit's happening. We need to stop this from happening. And then apparently, yeah, we're going to get a dwarven ring created in this. And this is what I mean. Like, we're getting the dwarven rings. We're potentially getting the 9 rings created as well, all in season 2. So they've got to stretch this out for season 3, 4, 5. Christ almighty, I'm going to be an old man by the time this is all done. I'm still going to be on here bitching about season 3, season 4. But the question that I have to everyone is do you think it will make it to 5 seasons? If this gets like really massive, like negative criticism and not very good viewing figures, do you think Amazon will pull the plug on it? Because they spent a lot of money to try and get this going. So do you think they'll just cut their losses? I feel like season 2 had to be made because that was contractual and they'd already started filming that. I think we'll probably get a season 3. I don't think we'll go past a season 3. I think they're going to pull the plug after that. I hope that's what happens anyway. Let's continue. 29th of August, guys. Mark your calendar. Yeah, that's the Balrog kicking off right there.
I'm afraid, Durin.
Yeah, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to watch this show. Darkness will bind them.
Soul in Middle Earth is in peril.
Yeah, so this is the blind queen lady, and I know that me and everything in Middle Earth were sort of hypothesizing who we thought might be in the water. We see that shot where someone is submerged beneath the waves, and we see like a kraken basically showing up, some kind of sea creature. I guess we get that confirmation now that it is her. So there's a group of people on the bank there. If you look kind of behind the word will, you can see a gathering of people.
Every soul.
And it almost looks like it's some kind of human sacrifice. And we know that that's ultimately where Numenor ends up, but that's through Sauron's direct influence. Over the course of many, many years, Ar-Pharazôn leads a troop of his men all the way to Mordor and calls out Sauron, and Sauron gives himself over willingly as a prisoner. They then go back to Numenor, and I think it's over the course of like at least 3 years that Sauron slowly starts to worm his way inside the mind of the people of Numenor, of the elite, and of Ar-Pharazôn, which eventually leads to its downfall. And we know that human sacrifice is a thing. That's something that they started to do. So is this like, is she getting sacrificed? Like, what is happening here?
Middle Earth is in peril.
Because people are watching her do this. Or is it going to be some kind of bullshit where she's got some kind of like third all-seeing eye? Like she's blind, but she sees things and she can sense things, and she's like a Jedi, and she relies on instinct, and she goes to the stillness of the sensory deprivation of the waves to talk to the fish and to talk to the kraken. I don't know what is happening. Brinsley says, agreed. I think we'll definitely get season 3, but depending on reception and viewers, it may get cancelled. Yeah, I think that's probably right. Brinsley, how bad are Amazon when it comes to cancelling shows? If this was Netflix, it would have ended after season 1. Netflix have a habit of cancelling shows that are just really, really good and continuing shows that are terrible. Amazon, I actually haven't watched many other Amazon shows, so I don't really know what their track record's like, and I forget which shows they've made. I know they did Wheel of Time, which was another travesty, and I'm forgetting what other exclusives they had. But yeah, I hope this gets cancelled. I mean, it is fun to react to it and to talk about it and to tear it down. And if there is anything that works, then of course talk about the stuff that works. Although, let's be fair, that is very, very few and far between. And it's great getting to chat about this with, the likes of Everything in Middle Earth, and, meeting new people through either a shared hatred of something or, we hate the Rings of Power, but we love the Lord of the Rings. We respect Tolkien, we respect his works. We're big fans of it. So all of this comes from a place of love. It's like Star Wars as well. Like deep down, the old school Star Wars, like I love it. It's such a huge core foundational part of my being and my growing up. I'm always going to have that attachment to it. And when it's being mistreated and you're seeing just what shit they're producing and how they're taking the name of Star Wars and just running it into the ground for their own ends and their own political ideals, it's just really... it's shit, and you want to talk about it. You want to either share in that love of something, the good old days, talking about those movies behind me, or talking about the books, and you need to talk about the bad stuff. And I think that's important. Don't silence yourself just because something's bad. Talk about the bad stuff, because it might either influence people or it might make people question what they're watching. And if they do enjoy the Rings of Power, then that's on them. That's fine. You can enjoy it. I'm going to say don't enjoy it, but just as someone who, appreciates the lore and especially those films, is this as good as we're going to get? Is this... They've got the keys to the kingdom to make a Lord of the Rings Middle Earth TV show. This is the best that you could produce. This Rings of Power. Food for thought. GT Verba says, what up, guys? How you doing, man? It is 1:15 in the AM. I need to be up for the gym in about 6 hours. I'm going to have a very tired leg day tomorrow, but we continue. We do it. We do it for Rings of Power, Derek. We do it for Tolkien. Here we go. Let's go. We've got like a minute or so left on the trailer. This is Rune. Talk about your fixer-upper. It's just a lot of dead trees and a whole bunch of rocks.
Will you abandon them to their doom?
Oh wait, Tom Bombadil? Tom Bombadil travels with Gandalf to the east?
Will you abandon them to their doom?
Will you abandon them to their doom? No, you need to be like, hey ho, ding-a-lo, ring-a-dong-da-lo, Gandalf, will you abandon them to their doom? Like, that would be silly. They're going for a much grounded. I mean, he's basically just like another wizard at this point. He just feels very much like that. This ain't going to be the Tom Bombadil from the book, so don't hold your breath. He looks like him, sort of. You know, he's got the beard, he's got the blue, and are his boots made of yellow? I didn't see a picture of his boots. Cannot confirm. He's also meant to have a feather in his hat. Is that a feather at the front of his hat there? Oh, okay, he's got the feather. I'll give him a point for that. But we need to check if his boots are yellow. 0 stars if his boots aren't yellow. I don't know. It just seems like a very drab and like, what are we doing? Like, why is Tom abandoning the place that he guards, that he's the steward of? Like, his power is contained within that border, isn't it? I think that's what they say in the book. Like, they say, like, well, why couldn't he take the ring to Mordor? And it's like, well, he's very forgetful, and you know, eventually if he didn't do anything, then evil would take control of his lands. But his place is, you know, he has his own place in Middle Earth. He's the guardian, he is the steward of that particular place, and beyond those boundaries his power is nothing. I think that's what they say. MJ Daniel says no song and dance numbers. Oh darn. Yeah, it's just, I get that would be really silly. Like, I get probably why they thought, maybe we shouldn't do that. What about having him talk in rhyme? If not singing, what about having him talk in rhyme, like a Dr. Seuss book or something? Would that still be strange? It probably would be. But Tom Bombadil, by design, is a very strange character. So either don't put him in the show, and you've got grounds to not put him in the show because he has fuck all to do until the 3rd age, and we're in the 2nd age. Like, what is he doing? Why is he traveling to the far east with Gandalf? What is happening? Amazon, please. Amazon, help me understand what you are trying to achieve. Okay, is that just I think that's just a very angry orc, isn't it? Yeah.
No, what have you done to me?
Okay, so Celebrimbor's freaking the fuck out. He's gonna be like he's gonna be pussy whipped. He's gonna be bitched around by Sauron, and he's gonna create all these things, and he's probably gonna see all the death and destruction that he's causing, and he's like, "What have you done?" JX editor said, Men of the West did a what if they were to give the ring to Tom? Well, they tie it to him so he can't forget it, and then they simply walk him to Mordor. Yeah, does anyone remember the Battle for Middle-earth games on PC? I think it was Battle for Middle-earth 2, and there were a bunch of mods you could do for it. I don't think he was actually in the game. I feel like this was probably a mod, and they added Tom Bombadil into there. And I remember, like, you summon him, and you're like, oh, fuck. And he starts, like, dancing and hopping around, and he's just, like, stepping on soldiers and whatnot. It's really, really fun. JX says they get to Mount Doom and they're like, where is the ring? And he says, that thing, oh, it started getting heavy, so I dropped it. Fucking hell, Tom, no. And then we have the 4th entry in the trilogy where we have to search for the ring. Oh, okay. JX says that Tom Bombadil was in the vanilla Battle for Middle-earth 2. Okay. All right, yeah, I remember him being in the game. That was really fun. Here we go. Let's carry on. Yeah, cool guys, don't look at explosions.
Sauron.
Oh, I missed that in the first reaction. JX, here's a line for you.
Leave Sauron to me.
Leave Sauron to me. Now, my God, no one is sacred. Now we're... Christopher Lee's final line in The Hobbit, his final line, his final contribution to the Middle-earth movies is now tainted by Adar saying it as well. Leave Sauron to me. That line was fucking badass, by the way, in the Battle of the Five Armies. Like, I'm not too keen on that whole, like, Dol Guldur scene with how it's portrayed in that movie. But that was a cool line. And I completely missed that, as I said, when I did my first reaction at the beginning of this video with no sound. Again, apologies for that. Leave Sauron to me. Oh, God. Enough with the member berries. What have we had so far for member berries in this? We've had I Am No Man, Leave Sauron to Me. I feel like there was one at the beginning as well. Wasn't there? There was another one. We've had a few just in this trailer alone.
To me.
And I think there's another one in a minute, which, you know, I'm going to see if you guys agree with me, but we see someone with like 3 arrows in them and it kind of gives me Boromir vibes. I can hear JX already saying, like, if someone gets hit with arrows, doesn't make it. Oh, that was good timing. It's the very next shot. I guess we're talking about this now. Who was Adar stabbing, by the way, with a crown? Oh, who is that? Can we see who that is?
Sauron to me.
Well, someone's dying there. I mean, I can't see who it is from behind. Someone with long brown hair. I thought it might be an orc, but that looks like someone who's significantly more well-groomed than an orc. Any guesses who this character is, who is stabbing? Long brown hair. We had, oh God, what was her name? Not Morwen. That's from the Third Age game. What was her name? The other chick at the village who like helps in the orc battle. I forgot what she's called. I keep forgetting her name. She had the son Theo. I want to say it's her, but I feel like her hair was different. I thought she had like black hair and it was styled differently. I don't know who this is. Is it just like a random elf? Could be like a new character, maybe. So this shot. Is this? I was gonna say, is that Galadriel? Because there's that shot where Galadriel's walking in something that looks kind of so. Is that no? The arrow's not. The arrow is in her shoulder. I think it's behind. I was gonna say, is that an arrow in her head? But I think it's on her shoulder or like breastplate or something, and it's just behind. That shot is very like. There's a shot very similar to that in the Fellowship of the Ring where Boromir's hit with the 3 arrows, almost from that same angle, almost in the same profile of the shot. Slow-mo as well. I feel like that's Galadriel. Can't tell if that's her armor. Kind of looks like it. I think it is. I know I've seen her holding that bow as well in a location that's similar to this. So not only can Galadriel, well, I suppose, yeah, once you're hit with a pyroclastic flow to the face at the epicenter of a volcanic explosion, the same explosion that completely disintegrates and levels buildings within the near vicinity, completely eviscerates and just char grills everything, apart from the main characters, of course, who have plot armor. When you can survive that without a hair on your head displaced, then I guess getting hit with 3 arrows is just nothing, really. I think she can just like walk that off. JX says, I actually like Adar conceptually, especially the double meaning with the name. I think it's if they go down that route of, oh, the orcs aren't bad, they're just misunderstood. It's like that bullshit postmodern shit that a lot of the Disney fucking idiots writing the screenplays for those things now, where it's like, oh, there's no good and evil in Star Wars. You know, even Anakin blew up the Death Star. Like Anakin twice he said that. Anakin blew up a whole Death Star. It seems like it's this whole, oh, we can't have orcs just be bad guys. We have to give them we have to make them morally grey, and that all they want is to just belong in this world and find a home and find a sense of belonging. And it's like, shut up. That's not what orcs are. Like, that's just go with it. There is good and evil. And that's I was going to say, and it's worth fighting for. And that's fine. It's good to have things that can just be completely good and completely evil. And there are some characters that are sort of like morally grey a little bit, or sort of like piteous characters. Of course there are. You know, Gollum's an example of that. You could even say Denethor in the book is a good example of that too. But not the orcs. Not the orcs. Jake says, I'm picturing the love interest from an early episode of Mandalorian. Do you think Brad Pitt and Troy got Boromir, or did you just get peppered with arrows? It's been a long time since I've seen Troy, so I will have to watch that and get back to you again. You.
Promise me.
Oh, that orc there is a fucking badass. Look at that. See this orc on the right here? The one who's kind of like crouched over next to the one who's flipping through the air. Dude stands up in slow motion. He's on fire and he's ready for more. Picks up his sword, and that is a fucking badass right there.
All right. He will not stop until he is destroyed.
That's our Tom Bombadil. Again, just looks really drab. And where's Goldberry? God damn it. I'm expecting, you know, with kind of how they're handling the female characters in this series so far, I'm fully expecting Goldberry to like come, like he's like putting his hat on and like adjusting his coat and looking sort of relatively low-key Tom Bombadil-ish, and I'm just expecting Goldberry to just walk in and she's going to be in like fucking plate mail, and you know, she's going to be like brandishing a broadsword or something, and she's going to be like, let's take back Middle Earth. But not you, Tom. I can do this alone. And then she's going to go and save the day alongside Galadriel and everyone else. Now, where is Goldberry? Where is the River Woman's daughter? You think they'd leap at the chance to get another female character in this show? We're like, where is she?
This takes an age.
That is terrifying. That really is terrifying. But there we go. Those are the Entwives. When did the Entwives go? When did the Entwives disappear in the lore? Because I cut myself off in the initial reaction. I said like, oh, why are the Entwives here? And then I thought, well, actually, were they present in the Second Age and disappeared sometime during the Third Age? I actually can't remember when they disappear. I have a feeling they leave to go. Some get burnt, don't they? So is it when Sauron's kind of like building his forces up? This is why I thought it would be in the Third Age. And they all go off to try and investigate it, or to look for gardens, don't they? Like some gardens that used to belong to the Ents there, and then they never returned. I always assumed that they all got killed. They all got burnt, and it's a very tragic end for them. But I do like the mystery about the Entwives, but I guess there's less of a mystery here because we're seeing them. If they are present at this point in the lore, then I guess I don't have a problem with them being here. I just can't remember if they should be around at this point or not. I'm going to have to do some research on that.
I need your axe, old friend.
And my axe. I want to say that's a line too, but probably not. I need your axe.
Your axe.
That's fine. Give it to me. Give it to me right now.
Fight with me.
Oh, we got spiders now again. We're throwing those in. So we got little spiders. This is going to be... Where's this going to be? Who is that, by the way? Who's fighting those spiders? Is that a Sildor, or is that... That kind of looks like a Sildor there, I think. So, where are we? Are we in... I don't think we're in Mirkwood. Oh, yeah. Dangnor Gortheb, is that the name of the place? The place where Ungoliant slinks off to after she's defeated. This isn't going to be Cirith Ungol. Or maybe we've just got spiders in it, you know? I don't know.
Fight with our friends!
And the darkness falls.
There we go. That's... Oh, no, okay. Maybe it is a different character then, because that character who's getting peppered with arrows looked like they were wearing armor. This was the shot, because I said it looks like Galadriel's in a similar kind of place. and she's got the bow and arrow here, but she is decked out like Brave from from Disney Pixar's Brave right here. So maybe that's not her getting peppered with arrows. It could be someone else. Well, it most certainly is someone else.
When the darkness falls, there are always some.
Is this big battle scene that they're talking about that's going to go on for 2 episodes? That's going to be amazing and the best thing ever. Why do they always say that? You know, Disney Star Wars do that as well. It's like, oh, we're going to have this big lightsaber fight this episode that's going to be better and bigger than anything you've seen in the prequels. And they somehow think that just fighty fight instantly makes something good. I'm like, okay, we've got 2 whole episodes dedicated to a battle scene. Wonderful. And the character's going to be good. Is it going to make sense? Is it going to be written well? Is it going to be acted well? Like, I don't give a shit if I don't care about the characters and it's still in a terrible show. Yeah, we'll see what they do with it.
There are always some who rise forth.
Oh, that's right where he does that, like he like farts and like does a back out of the that wagon, doesn't he? That we see in the previous trailer. I don't know where he gets the momentum from. He just kind of like lifts off like a goddamn helicopter. Another Star Wars comparison. It's like when Palpatine does the 720-degree corkscrew in Revenge of the Sith. It's treason then. Oh, like this guy. What's this guy called again? Don Lemonlass or whatever he's called. Legolas. What was his name? I forgot. Genuinely can't remember what his name is. This is how much of an impact these characters had on me. We got bats.
And shine.
That was kind of a shot from the previous trailer as well, with our Farazan approaching. Potentially, is it Gwaihir at this point, or is it Gwaihir's father? Is it Theron? I want to say Thorondor, but I can't remember if that's Gwaihir's brother or his father. What would it be in the Second Age? I don't know how long the Eagles live for.
You will give me the night.
Oh, this troll's been unveiled as well, hasn't it? So they said that they based the look of it on Mike from Breaking Bad. It's a troll that has nipple piercings as well. Like, okay. That feels so cool. There we go. Lord have mercy. Okay, mark your calendars, folks. There we go. So I can stop sharing that now, and we can bring myself to lovely full screen. Excellent. JX says, does the troll have jam bags? It doesn't have any jam bags that I know of. I don't know. I can't confirm, and I really don't want to look up there to confirm. And JX says, I think the Entwives went missing during the Watchful piece. Okay, yeah, so it hasn't happened then, basically. It hasn't happened for a long time since this point. That'll do it for my reaction, I think. As I said, it's 1:30 in the AM, and I have work in the morning and also need to be up for a workout, so I'm going to be exceptionally tired tomorrow. But it's worth it. Again, I do apologize for not having audio on at the beginning. That was dumb, but I know my mistakes now and I can fix it for next time. But we still got to watch the trailer, we still got to talk about it, and we still got to listen to it eventually as well. What else do I have to say on this? Well, I will be saying more on this tomorrow, alongside everything in Middle-earth. Really looking forward to that. I think we're shooting for an 8 p.m. stream time tomorrow, and we'll be getting his opinions on the channel. I've given mine on here, but we will be in conversation, but I'm really looking forward to hearing his take on things as well. I'm going to kind of brush up on the lore if I can as well, like regarding the Entwives and certain events when they're meant to take place, just so I'm a bit more clued up on this stuff before going in. But yeah, if you haven't done so already and you discover this video after the fact, then please do let me know your thoughts on the Rings of Power and what you're looking forward to, if anything, or what you're not looking forward to. anything regarding Rings of Power, Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings, everything in between, do let me know. And do subscribe to the channel for more movie reviews, discussions, and live streams, including Rings of Power reviews when this thing goes up on, what was it, August 29th. Me and Everything in Middle Earth will be doing weekly reviews for that. We did that for season 1. We had a great time. We're going to, we're just going to bring it again for season 2. And it'll be really fun to talk about that. So, yeah, please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you're new to the channel, Brinsley says, thanks for the late stream and catch you on the next. Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I do appreciate your viewership and always commenting along and keeping the conversation going. As I said, I jumped on tonight expecting no one to be on. Like, who the fuck would be on at this time watching me prattle on about the Rings of Power? But I'm really thankful for all you guys and tuning in and keeping me company tonight. It's always appreciated. And I hope you will do the same tomorrow at 8 p.m. where I'm joined with Everything in Middle Earth to talk more about the Lord of the Rings of Power. So until then, I will catch you guys next time. Have a very good night and I will see you soon. Take care.